Apparently in Japan, this is Marine F-35B.
Hold on. Well, I don't have it yet. You're narrating nothing.
Here.
Hold on. I got it right here.
You got it? All right, hit play.
Okay.
There we go. F-35B in Japan. It's Marine jet. I guess this is how you egress out of a...
Well, this is how you sneak out after a drunken night.
I mean, dude, it's
Amy.
I mean,
sneaking out the window after so nobody sees you leaving.
That was a solid 6-foot drop, man.
It is, and the wing didn't flex when he was running out there. I like to poke fun of the F-35, but that's actually the exact technique that you use to egress a Hornet if you don't have anybody to put the ladder down. Or the other technique that we were taught is slide down the nose and off the front. But yeah, wow, Mover, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't do that in the Viper, typically.
Could you get? Does the steps come down in the Viper without?
No, there are no steps. There are no steps. But you can use what jet was that? Was that the T-38 where you could use the straps to rappel yourself off the side?
The 38 was low enough. You could jump out of that bad boy.
Yeah, but what had steps though? You could kick the step out, right?
Yeah, because they just. Dude, has it been this long? Did they? I can't remember. Did they fold into the fuselage or?
Yes. Now let me think about this. The Viper, you could get out. You didn't have to. I mean, you couldn't cross. The Hornet was the one you went down the Lex in the wing and shimmied your way down.
Right. So
that's tall. The Hornet is taller than the F-16.
Yes, and I don't. Just thinking about all the F-35s I've seen, I think every single one of them is similar to the... Wait, it has a ladder that comes down, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Viper does not. The Viper does not. And the Viper, I've done it before because I think we were like lightning within 5 or something. And, there was no crew chief to come put the ladder up. And I'm like, I'm getting out of this thing.
Yeah.
Because a couple guys had already done it. But I think it was either you could get out and then lower yourself with the canopy rail or man, it's been so
Could you slide down the front, like down the nose?
No, you don't want to do that because you get a pitot boom up your.
Oh, the pitot boom would get you.
Yeah. Plus, it's probably hot because.
That's right. It's probably very hot. Very, very hot.
So I wouldn't recommend that one.
Yeah, I don't know what caused the. I couldn't find anything about why this guy egressed. They rolled the trucks, and you can see the fire trucks.
Yeah, that part puzzled me. It seemed like if there was emergency equipment coming, they would have had maybe there was something bad going on that we didn't know.
Right. So typically, the fire rescue would get there and they put the ladder down for you and get out, unless you think something like you said, Doug, real bad's happening, and you hop out. I don't know. My guess is maybe if I was going to speculate, because only this happened to me once, was maybe a generator was getting hot. I had a generator fire in a Hornet once, and I wanted out, but luckily I was still parked in the line, starting up when it happened, and the ladder was still down, so I got out. But if I was waiting in the marshal area for like my wingman or something, and I smelled like the generator cooking, and I wanted out, I would do exactly what this guy did. But who knows? We'll probably find out.
Dude, I can't believe it's been that long since we've flown.
Crazy, isn't it? Let me ask you, Mover, so when you were cross country in the F-16, how did you get? You
went to a place and called and said, "Hey, got a ladder?"
What if you diverted?
Then sometimes they have the hard stands, the little things that they can wheel out, or you just figured it out. I mean.
Yeah, so kind of one of the unofficial lessons in the Hornet Rag was how do you get in and out without the ladder? And it actually required a little bit of upper body strength in the low on the wingtip. So, I mean, the first time that my IP is like, okay, we're going to go cross country. I'm going to show you how to get in and out of this thing without the ladder. And the first time I saw him go up, I'm like, I'm not doing that. And the trick is make sure when you take your gear off, before you get out, like if you land somewhere off station, leave your gear up there, because the odds of you successfully getting up on the wing from the ground with all your gear on is a lot less than if you just have a flight suit on.
Yeah. So sorry, I was people were wondering what I was just looking at. The last time I've had to do this was here.
Did you get out?
Yeah. So you see the left intake smoking? Can you see that? I can't enhance this photo at all.
There's some haze by it.
Yeah. So
Where is that? Is that Eglin?
that's at Eglin. So I was coming back from it was like an early return. Dude, this is probably one of the reasons the T-38 started its train of torture for me. I was going out to the airspace and it was a bleed air problem. And so the cockpit went full hot. And dude, I was like, oh, because it's all controlled by bleed air. And so I took off, or I was climbing out, and I was like, hey, this thing's getting a little warm, and it started compressor stalling. So I came back, recovered it at idle because it recovered at idle, did a single engine landing, taxied clear, and when I shut the engine down, it was smoking. Well, they always smoke, but fire always meets you at the end of the runway when you declare an emergency, because the fire chief's the only one that can clear it. Well, they ran up to me and said, sir, you got an emergency ground egress. And dude, I unstrapped and got out, and I was still wearing my parachute, and that 50 or 60, 69 pounds or extra, dude, I just about commando rolled out of the thing, because like as soon as I hit the ground, the momentum, I'm like, oh God, no, got to try to look cool.
How do I not remember this?
You weren't there.
Did you get your key? Dude, I was always terrified about forgetting the key.
Yeah, I got the key.
Oh, dude.
I got the key. The silver key.
Yeah, like if you let that thing snag on something,
yeah,
you're going for a parachute ride. Yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's an uncomfortable time when it went hot in the cockpit, and it's greenhouse effect. And dude, I was wearing a jacket because it was January. It was January of 2021, and dude, it was getting you cannot remove jackets while you're wearing all that crap, and it was like there was no AC. It finally didn't do it the whole time. Yeah, it didn't do it the whole time. It just did it like, I heard the pop, and then it started running away, and then it started compressor stalling, and then it was just no airflow at all, which was a lot better. I thought about doing that, the whole ram dump thing, but then it finally cooled.
Yeah.
So it switched back. Like there was some bleed air valve that had failed. That it was one of those, because the jet was so old, they were doing it as run to failure.
Yeah.
But long story long, this is why you do emergency ground egress, because if something has happened, fire, they think there might be a fire, there might be an internal fire, it could be precautionary, could be something else. The F-16, if your EPU is running, so a hydrazine leak or something like that, you'd be getting out of Dodge, or else you'd get cancer. So there's all kinds of different such scenarios where you would emergency ground egress, but not necessarily jettison the aircraft.
Right. Yeah. So. I still can't believe I cannot remember that.